Isaiah Roby was once an unknown high school basketball recruit, but now he is in the NBA and beat all the odds that were stacked against him. In today's video, I will be talking about Roby's rise as a player, how he became an NBA prospect, and what I think is in store for the rest of his NBA career. But first, if you guys love college basketball, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I make videos just like this, and I really need your help to hit 2.1k subscribers by the end of May. Now let's get started with the rise of Isaiah Roby. Isaiah grew up in the small town of Dixon, Illinois, which is approximately 100 miles west of Chicago. The town only had around 15,000 people, which made Isaiah a small town kid. From a young age, he was blessed with athletic ability, and he came to love sports. As he got older, he not only fell in love with the game of basketball, but he was also blessed with natural height and the body to be good at it. When Isaiah wasn't waiting tables at the local restaurant, he was traveling around the country playing travel basketball, while his mother worked multiple jobs to pay for his basketball expenses. Since Roby was from a small town, he sometimes had to travel 90 miles round trip just to make it to basketball practice. To this day, Roby credits his mother for making his basketball career happen, and he will forever be grateful to her for that. As he got further along in his high school basketball career, he became somewhat of a local legend, and he was starting to get some recruiting interest. Despite being 6'8" with the ability to hop all over the gym, the high major offers did not come chasing Roby, and his only Power 5 offer was Nebraska. Eventually, Creighton and Georgia took notice, as well as some of the Big Ten schools, but by that time he had already made his mind up. He ultimately committed to Nebraska and became the pride and joy of Tim Miles' 2016 recruiting class. He decided to choose the Huskers because they were loyal to him, he wanted to be part of something new, and he hoped to help build something special at Nebraska. Roby became only the third player from his hometown ever to make it to the Division I basketball level. As a recruit, ESPN and 24/7 Sports both listed him as a 3-star recruit, but he likely would have been ranked higher if he delayed his commitment and waited for more offers to come. Nebraska has never been known as a basketball school, and if it weren't for Northwestern, they would likely be considered the worst school in the Big Ten. Tim Miles was their coach, and at the time he was considered one of the up-and-coming basketball coaches in the game, and he was slowly beginning to rebuild Nebraska basketball. Going into the 2016-17 season, the Huskers were expected to finish near the bottom of the Big Ten, and that is exactly how it played out. They ended up going 6-12 in conference play, and finished with a 12-19 overall record. For Roby, his debut was delayed due to injury, but he ended up playing in 30 games, while starting in 4 of them and recording a season-high 10 points in those starts. As a freshman, he averaged 3 points, 3 rebounds, and a block a night. Going into his sophomore season, the Huskers had a pretty talented team that included Roby, Thomas Allen, Glenn Watson, Georgetown transfer Isaac Copeland, and Miami transfer James Palmer. Through the team's first 12 games, the Huskers were 7-5, and it looked like nothing had changed from the year prior. But they did end up gaining some momentum and actually saved their season. The Huskers won 7 of their last 8 games and finished with a 22-9 record and a 13-5 record going into the Big Ten tournament. At this point, Nebraska was a bubble team, and they were one big win away from potentially getting into the tournament. Thankfully, they were matched up with number 15 Michigan in the first round, but unfortunately they got killed and punched their ticket to the NIT. Once there, they ended up losing to Mississippi State in the first round, and their season was over. For Nebraska standards, it was a good season, and Roby became a really good player the second half of the year. He ended up scoring 11 points, 13 rebounds, and had 6 blocks in their season opener against Eastern Illinois, and from there he went on to average 8.7 points, 6.3 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 2 assists a night, while becoming one of the best shot blockers in the nation. He put himself on the NBA's radar, and Nebraska was expected to have a huge 2018-19 season. Before we get into his junior year, if you're enjoying today's video, please take a moment and hit that like button to help this channel. The Huskers actually started off the season 7-1 and became ranked number 24 in the country. They bounced around the end of the top 25 for a few weeks, but a bad trend developed. They could never seem to beat Big Ten teams, and after a win against number 25 Indiana, they lost 7 straight conference games, and all of a sudden, the NCAA tournament looked out of reach. They bounced back with 2 quick wins, but lost 4 of their last 5 games, and would need a miracle Big Ten tournament run to make it to the big dance. They ended up winning their first 2 games, and almost beat Wisconsin, but they lost and had to settle for the NIT with an 18-16 record. In their first NIT game against Butler, Roby had the game of his career. He dropped a career-high 28 points, and also grabbed 8 rebounds in their win. They ended up losing to TCU in their next game, and that marked the end of Roby's Nebraska career. He ended up averaging 11.8 points, 6.9 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 2 assists a night while becoming a legit NBA prospect. Because of that, Roby declared for the 2019 NBA draft and was expected to be taken early on in the second round. Scouts knew that Roby was athletic, could block shots, and could defend at a high level, but he wasn't an amazing shooter, couldn't really dribble the ball too well, and was known for having tunnel vision at times. No one expected him to be a star, but he was considered one of those second-round picks that could immediately see the floor and eventually become a role player in the league. He ended up getting drafted with the 45th overall pick by the Detroit Pistons, but he was traded to the Dallas Mavericks on draft night. He ended up playing pretty well in Summer League, so he was signed to the team, but he spent most of the time with the Texas Legends of the G League, and he struggled with injuries at times. The most notable moment of his shortened rookie year was when he was traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder in exchange for Justin Patton and some cash. So far, he has only appeared in 3 NBA games and has yet to score a basket. Sadly, the virus ended his season early, and he may have to settle for not scoring a point his entire rookie year. Another cool part of Isaiah's story is that he wants to give back to the community. He grew up in a Habitat for Humanity house, and he's always appreciated what it did for him. Because of that, he is currently involved with the Habitat organization, and he hopes to help as many people as possible and make a difference in whatever community he's in. Overall, Isaiah Roby is one of my favorite college basketball players of all time because of his highlight reel dunks and blocks. Researching his story has made me root for him to succeed even harder too. I'm honestly not sure if he'll end up making it in the NBA long term, but I know he will give it all he's got. He definitely has the athletic ability to do something, but it's going to be up to whether he can develop an offensive game. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This is actually one of my favorite ones I've ever made. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you are new to the channel, do not forget to subscribe. I hope to see you guys again soon, and if you're still here, please be sure to watch these other cool videos that I have picked out for you guys to watch next. Until next time, peace.